I'm glad to have Richard Haass back here at Harvard today, and we want to talk a little bit about his new book, Foreign Policy Begins at Home. So, Richard, in one sense, it kind of would seem obvious that a nation can't be any stronger abroad than its economic foundations are at home. But your argument is both more complex and more nuanced. So give us the elevator version.
Well, we have both an opportunity and necessity. The opportunity, I would argue, is there's something of a respite. There's a little bit of time and space out there, unlike the 20th century, when the United States faced Germany, then the Soviet Union during the Cold War. There's no peer rival out there now for the foreseeable future. So the United States has a little bit of time and space to sort itself out, and it needs to sort itself out. The United States has been growing, say, roughly at half the post-World War II average. And there's large problems with the quality of our schools, the quality of our infrastructure, immigration policy, long-term entitlements are a kind of sword of Damocles hanging over the American economy. So my argument is essentially is from the idea that national security is foreign policy plus domestic policy and economic. It's really a coin with two sides. And that on the foreign policy side of the coin, the United States has to do a little bit of rebalancing away from trying to remake large swaths of the Middle East. And I would say put much greater emphasis on the Asia Pacific, which is the region where 21st century is much more likely to be written, where American tools are more relevant. And on the national security case, to essentially rebalance somewhat, from foreign policy and towards fixing the home front, to restore the foundations of American power. And this is why I use the phrase restoration, to restore these two balances.
So, but if you're rebalancing towards domestic as compared to foreign, as you argue in your bureaucratic entrepreneur book, which I tell you I like a lot, which I assign to students here. So you talk about priorities. So if I were giving more priority to America at home, what would I give less priority to abroad?
Well, it's a question of degree. These are dials or rheostats. They're not switches. The biggest thing I would probably spend less time doing are things on the order of Iraq, Afghanistan, large efforts to rebuild, remake Middle Eastern societies. I simply think that is beyond our capacity no matter what we invest. I put a little bit more emphasis in, say, among other things, trying to keep China and Japan from entering into conflict or managing an incident if one happens all the same. I'd put more emphasis on the Western Hemisphere, which is on the verge of energy self-sufficiency, and I would think about what you might call NAFTA 2.0, a scenario for greater integration, in particular of North America. And here at home, I would put much more emphasis on putting into place policies that would, among other things, restore American economic growth. So it'd be, again, infrastructure, immigration, education. I'd change tax policy, deal with entitlements, give a degree of predictability over the context in which American business operates.
Okay, thank you.